We're live. Oh, we're live. Everybody run. Okay, cool. In that case, let's get cracking. So, hello everybody. Hello internet. If you're joining us post session, we are doing the part 2 of a 2 minimum part Git session with the wonderful TechNomads. Thank you so much again for having me. I really, really appreciate it. It was great fun last time, and hopefully this time will be just as fun. We'll see. So I won't bother with the introduction. You know who I am. I'm an egotistical maniac named Ben Kadel. Let's do a quick recap then, of course, of what was on part 1, because I think it's been a long time. I've even forgotten, and it might be worth us just sort of revisiting it. This slide here has a very brief slice of what we did last time, and we sort of went deep into each of these topics, hopefully enough that people can sort of relate to them and understand them. So along the left are the Git commands that we learned about. We learned hopefully that Git is a version control system. And for anybody that is sort of joining us now after the fact, there is a video link. And in fact, I don't know, Kerry, would you be able to like chuck it in the chat? In fact, we probably don't have everybody that needs the video link, but there's a video link for anybody that wants to see part 1 in full. We learned what a version control system is. We learned that Git is a version control system and the most popular and arguably the most powerful one. We learned that there are multiple ways to interact with the Git system, and we chose the command line interface way where we type Git commands because it's the hardest version. No, because it is the version it is the way that Git arguably was intended to be used, and we're starting at the deep end so that when you revert back to doing things in a GUI, for example, you can understand what's actually happening behind the scenes. You can understand what commands are being triggered by that commit button or whatever. We learned these commands on the left, and we learned a little bit about the 3 areas that live just on your machine that sort of changes to files changes to your files, they sort of move through these 3 stages of the Git system. And they are located here. And we made a silly analogy about being kids in a kitchen. You know, the devs were the devs cooking cookies in the kitchen. That's actually coding. We're working in the working directory. That's you just working in your like local file system, doing changes to your files. We learned about git add, which is when you're ready and when you've made a cookie that you like the look of, you've changed your code and it looks good and tasty and delicious, and you're ready to sort of save it. You use git add to take that cookie from the working directory and put it into the cookie basket full of different cookies, which is called the staging area or the index. The staging area is a collection of delicious cookies and changes. And then when we're finally ready to sort of lock it in and save it into the history of our Git history, we use the git commit command to essentially take that basket of cookies, those delicious code changes, and put them underneath the proverbial Christmas tree? I don't know. That's where the analogy started to fall over. Underneath the Christmas tree, we see a historical collection of cookie baskets that are commits from the past. And we finally, after we did all of these commands, we learned about like logging and branching. We did the push command, which is the final piece of this really awful analogy, which is taking those cookie baskets from underneath the tree and pushing them upwards into the arms of your mother or your parent or your guardian, whatever. Pushing them upwards into the cloud, uploading them to a server so that other people can see and access them. As I very quickly briefed over, we learned about branches, so the ability to take some state of your code base, safely duplicate it away from each other and do features or experiments on this other branch, something that doesn't affect the main master or main branch, the main source of code. And when we're ready with these changes that have been split away into this other branch, we can bring them right back by merging them in. And we haven't yet learned properly about merging, but we did learn about the pull request system. So I don't know if you remember this, but we did in the end of last session, we did a where is it here? A pull request kind of thing where you all did some code to the amazing website code base, and one of you lucky people, which was actually Kerry, I think in the end, got your code into the amazing website code base. So I'll just jump on the amazing website repository, which you can see right here. You can see 4 months ago, which is when we held this last session, there was a change that happened. And if I just go to pull requests tab, you can see a bunch of probably all of your lovely efforts and works are still outstanding. But in the closed section, the topmost one is a cheesy joke pull request by the wonderful Kerry Parker, who added a ham sandwich, walks into a bar, orders a beer. Bartender says, "Sorry, we don't serve food here." Because we were all a little bit wacky last session, and that's just fine. But now Kerry's changes are part of my code base. They are part of the amazing website code base. If I just go to the amazing website code base, like the repository, click index.html, I've not gone into any branch or anything like that. I'm on the main master branch. You can see that Kerry's joke is right here. So she has contributed to an open source project. Cool, exciting times. Right, let's get back to it. So that's the little recap. Before I go on, feel free, this should be, by the way, interactive. If you have questions or anything like that, just turn your mic on and blast at me. I won't be offended or worry about stopping. With that all said, is there any part of that somebody would like me to briefly go over again before we dive back in? Now, I'm aware that we've got people that weren't here last session. You should also feel free to answer this question. Like if you'd any part of those bits, just quickly recapped, let me know. It's no problem. Otherwise, obviously, welcome to see the video from the past. And also, if you are just joining us for this first session, you can clone the amazing website repository as it is right now, and you will still be you'll still be able to participate with this session. There's nothing that you needed from last session that will stop you from being in this session if you weren't there, if that makes sense. So with that, I'll shush for a second. Anyone like any more detailed recappies? Good. I'm going to take silence as a no thank you. All right, cool. So just try and remember that awful baking analogy, how it moves through the code base: git add, git commit, git push to put it online, git checkout to switch between branches, git branch to see your branches, git log and git status to view previous commit history and status of your code base. They're going to be all useful, right? Part two. So this was actually a slide from last time that was, if time allows, we'll do these things. Time did not allow, so we will do these things now. We're going to start very briefly about talking about GUIs, because I know in the last session, I would have loved to have done that in part one. So we'll get that out of the way, and then we'll get into the real juicy stuff. Now we're taking a step up. Last session, we did the basics. This session will go in a little further. We're going to understand a little deeper, and we're going to do some slightly more difficult nonsense and learn how to do it. And you're going to do it yourself. You're going to do the work. I'm just going to watch and enjoy myself and drink some tea. So these are the topics. Let's dive into it. Oh, wait a minute. Surprise flash quiz. I don't know if you remember, but last session we did flash quizzes. And usually they're called flash quizzes because the title's flashing. So my animations are broken. But basically what I would like to do is ask you a question, and for somebody to either turn their mic on or type in the chat to answer said question. Very easy. Here we go, class. A little rememory for you. What is the git command to copy or duplicate an online repository to your machine? Who's brave? Who's feeling brave? Let me check the chat. Feeling brave. Chat window expanded. David has answered git clone. David, a little round of applause for you. But we've got so many flash quizzes, we have to keep moving. Next question, what are the 3 local areas of Git on your machine, the 3 layers? What are they called? Somebody, anybody? Mics on is okay. Slap them mics on. What are the 3 areas of Git on your local machine called? Kerry saying working directory. Yep, 1. Anyone else? 2 more. Ooh, staging area. David swinging in for the staging area. Oh, yeah. Patricia said working, staging, and I forgot the last one. Okay, staging. Repo, yes. So like the actual repository, sort of the local repository locked in on your machine with the commits. It's weird. What command do you use to move changes from the working directory to the staging area? Mic's on is fine. Don't be afraid. Someone just yell it. Which command do we use to move changes from the working directory, the kitchen, to the cookie basket?
Commit.
Git add, hooray! Oh, no. And you know the next question, from the staging area to the Git repository? Yes, Kate, you got it as well? Commit. Yell it out.
Oh, commit. Git commit.
Commit. I'm hearing commit. Marvelous. What command do we use to check which files have changed and the current overall view of the repository? There's one command that we sort of ask, hey, what's changed? Anyone know it?
Get status.
Get status, get status. Lovely. Use that all the time. Every other command should be get status. What command can we use to see and edit? Oh, forget that question. That's stupid. What command do we use to look at all the previous commits?
Git log.
Git log. Yeah, git log. Awesome. Forget that one. That's too much. What command do we use to see all the branches on our machine?
Git branch.
Git what?
Branch.
Git branch, yeah. What command do we use to switch to a different branch? Forget the second half of the question, but what command do we use to switch to a different branch? Dave, straight in there with git checkout, correct, git checkout. And finally, I think, what command do we use to sort of upload our changes to the server? Sort of. Git push. David, killing it. Okay, forget that. Oh, right. Oh, my God. Okay, forget that. We're done with the questions. I'm too tired for the questions. Well done, everybody. You're all good initial gitters. Wait, there's a better way of saying that. You're all gits. Wait, no. I give up. Anyway, let's move on. Into the first topic, GUIs, right? In the past session, as I said, we've been using the command line like maybe we should. I don't know if that's the right answer. That's me putting my opinion upon to everyone. But we've been doing command line interface commands, right? And that's fine. And as I said, it's because that is the way that will really teach you what the hell is going on with Git, because it's not as simple as, hey, git save, git upload, git download, right? There's more complexity to it. There's more precision. However, fear not, as probably you all already know, there are GUIs, graphical user interfaces. Like down on the left, you've got for Mac, Tower, you've got Kraken, you've got GitHub Desktop, you've got SourceTree. Here is a screenshot of SourceTree. But the difference is now, hopefully, if you do choose to go to a GUI, which is absolutely fine, obviously, after this session, if you continue to use Git inside of a GUI, that's fine, that's great. But now you'll know, or you'll be at least more knowledgeable about what's actually happening when I hit that plus commit button. What's actually happening with this branch button. You can see the Git log graphically here. You can see, tags, remotes, all this kind of stuff. And you can see what's really happening behind the scenes. So if I was to recommend a GUI, by the way, it would be SourceTree, but that's neither here nor there. I wouldn't recommend one at all, but that's not up to me. All right, that's the GUIs topic out of the way. Just get rid of it. It's gone, right? Let's talk about keeping up to date. I should have said git push force, to be fair. You should have, Dave. Force. David, come here. We need to talk. Stop that. No, I'm kidding. I'm in stream mode. It's not okay. I need to stop. Right. Keeping up to date, of course, because we've done everything we did in the last session was like on our machine, and then we sort of just uploaded it. We pushed it away and we didn't care about it. And the most caring that we did in terms of collaboration was creating a pull request. But what happens the other way around when we need to take code down from somewhere? Just as a reminder, this was our repository. If I go here, I think I'm in the code base. I will look at where the hell's Firefox now. Here we are. This is our website that we were working on, and you can see the updated joke in the website itself. That's the thing that we were working towards, the garbage piece of code. Doesn't matter. All I wanted to do is just remind you about that. That was our repo. What happens now when, for example, you, Sam, remember this little icon of Sam, that is intended to be you or just a Git user. What happens when Sam's been on holiday for 2 weeks and he comes back and his team have continued working on without him? There is this new commits, just one commit since he's gone. How do we do this part? How do we get it down onto Sam's machine? How do we update his knowledge of the remote repository? It's a good question. To answer it, there's two issues that I have to tell you about to start off with. Number one, Git is sort of an issue here. Remember, I keep telling, Git is complicated on purpose. It's not particularly complicated, but it's purposefully advanced. There's over 140 Git commands because you need control, precision. You shouldn't just upload everything and download everything. You want to be precise and surgical about what you do. And that's the reason that Git's a little bit more complicated, and we're going to have to learn about 3 new commands in terms of downloading, but we'll get to that in a second. That's problem one. Problem two is the GitHub of it all. Remember in the last session, we started right at the start of the session, what you did, you forked my GitHub repository. So what you did, you took my GitHub repository, which was publicly online, but you weren't able to make writes to it. You weren't able to edit it because of the anonymousness of you. You are, quotes, not my friend on GitHub. You're not a collaborator in my project. So we still need to enable open source contributions somehow. And thus the fork was invented, which is where you have taken a direct clone of my entire repository and you have read-write access to your forked version. This is important, okay? This is issue 2. Let's start with issue 2 to try and understand that. So here on the right is a little diagram. Above the dotted line is the OG repo, my Cardelio/amazing website. That is my repository that Kerry has publicly contributed to. No one else yet has. And that is sort of safe from anybody but me to contribute to it, unless somebody makes a pull request. Now, below the dotted line is your fork of it, Sam's amazing website. And this pink line denotes that it's simply a fork. His repository wasn't created by him. It was a fork of the one above it, okay? So this is the second issue. This is the problem that we've got, because we can't just sort of, we've not got a relationship where it's just a computer and just a server, just a computer and just a server. There's a third party involved, right? Because it's my original repository, which can get updated, your fork, which can get updated, and then your machine. So we need to somehow do this. We need to take the change from my fork to from my repo to your fork, and then from your fork down to your machine, right? So there's an extra layer there, but it's not that difficult. Don't worry about it. Now, interaction time. This is where you do stuff. I would like you to, please don't rush ahead. If you know what you're doing, obviously feel free to, but just do the tasks that are on screen. All I'd like you to do inside of your terminal, inside of the repository is git, what was it? Git checkout update. So there's a branch called update. So I want you to git checkout update. Okay, git checkout update. And once you're in there, there's a file called updates.txt. I have a question. It doesn't need answering, just for you to know yourself. Open that file, and how many updates are there inside that file? That's all I want you to find out. Git checkout update to practice that checking out command. Again, we're taking that branch and we're sort of opening it up. We're looking in that branch. And I want you to open the updates.txt file. And how many updates are there? 2. Pratishka, is it Pratisha, right? Sorry, I don't want to butcher your name. I'm sorry about that.
No, it's fine. It's Pratiksha.
Pratiksha. Sorry about that. Okay. Pratiksha says 2. Correct. There are 2 updates inside of the updates file, and you can see they are here. They're not very wonderful at all. They're just updates. Now, so has everybody done that, by the way? I'm going to just pause and make sure if anybody hasn't checked out the update branch, now's the time to yell up. We can go slow. We've got all the time in the world, so don't worry. Where's the thumb? There it is. Okay. Pratiksha. Sorry to, Thank you for saying thank you for me asking. I'm a bit of an idiot, so. Kerry saying 2 secs. Oh, let me get the joke book out. Kerry saying got it. All right, last chance. Anyone not checked it out? This is sort of the moment for everybody to meet at the same page as well. So if you haven't checked it out, please don't worry, because maybe you've got other things going on. If we're all on the same page, we'll move together, and we'll have some of these later. All right, so, oh God, let's simulate an update. Note to Ben, update branch, make changes to updates. Okay. Thank you, past Ben. I shall do just that. Okay, so now I'm going to simulate an update. Another developer on my repository, I'm going to do some work. I'm going to go to the updates file. Can everyone see my, I assume people can see the terminal, so don't worry. I'm going to add a third update. I'm going to put third update here, y'all. Hi, TechNomads. Come on, Ben. This isn't interesting. Everybody knows what's going on. I'm going to put a date in there, and I'm going to save and close my work. Okay. I've made some changes to my code base. I'm going to git status. we can see that I have modified updates.txt. This is a bit time for you to remember about the process. I'm going to git add, and I can be specific and say that file in particular, or I can do git add dot to say all of the changes. So you can see it's green now, it's ready for committing. I'm git commit. It's going to throw me into my text editor to have a commit message. I'm going to put something stupid like third update. Save and close. I'm going to git status once more. You can see it's a clean working branch. There's nothing going on there. I'm going to, just for my own sanity, check that I have the right remote. See, my server that my Git knows about is Cardelio Amazing Website. So that's great news. And I'm going to git push origin master. So remember, that was one of the commands that we learned to actually upload, throw it. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Push it into the arms of your mother. That's the analogy. So git push origin master, upload, and it says everything is up to date. Cool. Everything is up to date. Okay. That's okay. I've just completely blanked out. Right. Sorry. No. Let's go back to Cardelio Amazing Website now. Yeah. It's on the wrong branch. Everything is up to date. You're lying. You're lying. You're lying to me. What is happening? That was worrying. Okay, get remote. 2 seconds. Cardelio Amazing Website. Yes. Update branch. Yes. And I just made a change. Third update. Yes. Oh. What did I do? Git
You
push
pushed it
origin.
to master rather than.
I'm working on the update branch. Okay, cool. This is live. This is live. So what I did is I did git push origin master, which is saying, hey, upload the master branch, please. But I'm on the update branch. So it's okay. It's one of those days. At least we figured it out quick. I'm going to do git push origin update to say, hey, upload to this remote named origin. Remember, origin is the nickname of our server. So we can have multiple remotes. And you can see from that other command here, git remote, that origin points to Cardelio Amazing Website. Anyway, here we go. Let's push that now. Fine, that's more of a that's more of a accurate message that I expected. Okay, right now Ben goes back to the Amazing Website repository. We're going to change from the master branch to go to the update branch, and we're going to see 2 minutes ago. That's more better. The updates file changed. Nice. So I'm going to just go into the updates file, and you can see my third update is on my repo. Okay, so I have simulated an update. Guess what you're going to do now? So you're going to do the first part of this. Now, remember, we've got this diagram. We've got these 3 layers. We're just going to do this first bit where you match your fork to my repo. You're just going to do that bit to start off with. So it's very simple. Follow these instructions on screen. I'd like you to go. Feel free to go whilst I talk. I'm just going to talk over this. So do this if you've got 2 screens, and if not, then have a little go. Oh, I see. Sorry, people are just networking. I like it. Go to github.com. Go to your fork of the repository. Remember, you can tell it's your fork because at the top there'll be it'll obviously have your username, and it'll say forked from Cardelio Amazing Website. Okay. So go to your fork, and then make sure your branch is changed to the update branch. Okay, that's really important. Find the update branch. Not the master branch, because then you'll do what pretty much I just did before. And when you've picked the update branch, there should be a little label that says something like fetch upstream or something like that, fetch upstream, and a big green button that says fetch and merge. This is, please do that now, and then we'll explain what's going on. If anyone has any problems, please yell up. This is a live hands-on tutorial thing. So if you need help, let me know. How are we doing for time? Plenty of. As soon as you've done that task, remember that the usual check-in, just yell that you've done it or type in the chat, done or something like that. Fetched and merged. Woo, new things. Yeah. Oh, I just need to stretch a little bit. My old man legs. Oh God, I'm getting Vim flashbacks. People are saying. Just catching up with the chat. Kerry's done. Dave's done. Katie, you all right? Teacher. Oh yeah, you said you were the first one. Marvelous. Who else? I don't know who we've got live. So physical people. Wait, that you're all physical people. So it's like, no worries, no rush, Katie. This is This is a gentle environment. And if you need help, please yell up as well. So maybe I'll just do the process as well on my fudge. Have I got access to my alt account here? Is it Ken Bedell? I can't remember what the password is. Sign in with you. Okay, forget this. I'm abandoning ship on this alt account because I forgot what it is. Anyway.
Yeah, I think so.
You forfeit.
So, if anyone needs help, please just yell up. Ooh, that was what I was going to do. I can put files into this chat, can't I? Because I wanted to give
Yeah.
this. Whoop, whoop. That work? Nope.
No, I think that's Teams you're thinking of.
Ah, right. Is everyone on Slack, TechNomads? I'm going to put inside of events a file.
I'll paste the link to the Slack in case anyone's not on it.
Marvelous. All I've just done is put all the tasks that we're doing now as a single PDF in case people like really fall behind or whatever and we need to keep moving. People can sort of keep moving with the tasks, but as we go. But there's no rush for the moment. We're all just moving along. Chat, please. I don't like that that's up there. How do I get rid of that? Whatever. Right, so all good. Okay, cool. Anybody still waiting? Okay. So, as I said, you've just done this bit of the diagram. You simply did your fork looking at my fork saying, yo, what's changed? Give me them updates, son. And it did just that. Now, next task is for you to prove it to yourself. I love proving things to you by you proving it to yourself. So on your forked GitHub repository, just for your own sanity, again, change to the update branch, find the updates.txt file. And the question is, again, that you don't really need to answer, how many updates are there? Instead of 2, there should be 3.
Yeah.
If anybody sees anything less than 3, panic should start to ensue.
Did you get your third update?
Yeah.
Hey?
We're just checking. We're all good here.
Cool.
Good.
Marvelous. Okay. Everyone happy with that? Oh yeah, there's my Ken-Bedell. Okay. That's my alt account. Good. Right. We'll keep moving. If you fall behind or if you just need the last little bits of a task or you just want to revisit a task in the Slack, that I think Kerry's posted a link to in the chat. She has, marvelous. In the events, did I just put it in the events channel? I think I did. Is a file for the tasks that we're doing today. Cool. Right then, let's ride. So back to the diagram once more. As I said, you did the bit which was like bringing it into your repository. Now, let's gray out. So let's forget about my repository now. Forget about the fact that you're working on a forked repository. Let's ignore that. Let's just go to a simpler world where it's you and a server, your machine and a server. Nice. And what we want to do is this final interaction. So from your forked onto your machine, nice and easy. And this process is how you will work if you're on, for example, Bitbucket, or you are a direct collaborator with a project. I don't know if you remember this icon roughly. Last time, to denote that you were a stranger to me, you weren't a collaborator on my repository, we had a dotted line separating us and you forked my repository. But this icon shows you on the same side of the line, a direct collaborator. You wouldn't need to do this whole forking thing and updating your fork nonsense. This is how we'd work if we were part of a team and were direct collaborators. And now the 3 commands are coming in. To start with then, there isn't we're just talking again about your remote and your machine now. Okay, we've done the fork bit, put that to one side. There isn't like a git update command, right? That sort of thing doesn't exist. That's nonsense. Again, because of problem 1, issue number 1, the complexity, the control, the precision. Instead, what we have is 3 commands that sort of do this in collaboration and in a mix. And we have something called remote tracking branches. Now, this is where we were at basic. We were sort of peeking into intermediate. This is a full-on intermediate bit here now. So brace yourself. It's a bit confusing to start off with, but once you've got it, I promise you, it'll just be like, ha, remote tracking branches. Pish posh, right? Remote tracking branches is something I want to talk to you about theory-wise, and here's a hand doodle for you. You can think of a remote tracking branch correctly as a uneditable holding area on your machine. All three of those parts are so important. Uneditable by you, holding area on your machine. So on this dotted line, above the dotted line, we have the remote, we have the cloud, we have the server, and it has commits. Below the dotted line, we have on your machine. These things exist on your machine. And right at the bottom, the clearly visible ones are your branches, which we will now refer to correctly as your local branches. Local branches, okay? And these are the things that you've been checking out and pushing and, all of the commands. These are the things, the branches that you're interacting with, you're changing the code of. Nice. But there's something in between. A remote tracking branch, okay? Which is not editable to you. You can't go and tamper with them. You can't edit them. And it's like a holding area on your machine. When you want to do a download from the server, the very first thing you do is a fetch, okay, which downloads the changes to your machine, but it doesn't give them to you. You can see this interaction. See, green dot comes to this, but it's still grayed out, and it hasn't come into this bit. It hasn't come into your local branches, okay? Just theory. Don't worry if you don't understand that. We'll learn a bit more in a second. You can't edit them yourself, so they're like a sort of read-only, essentially, on your machine. And git fetch is the important command that actually downloads those changes onto your machine, into the remote tracking branches, but not into your local branches at the bottom, okay? And again, remote tracking branch, if it's a weird thing, the name is in the title. It is a remote, remember, is the sort of same thing as the server. So the server tracking, it's keeping an eye of, it's observing. So it's literally a branch that is observing the remote version of the branch. It's looking at the remote and going, any changes, any changes, any changes? There's a change, give it to me. I want it immediately. Any changes, that. Remote tracking branches, as I said, they are actual branches that are then merged into your local branches, okay? This gets a little bit weird, but please don't, if your mind's panicking now about not understanding this, you'll do it yourself and you'll understand it, okay? So there's this sort of step process of fetch to download it onto your machine, but then to actually merge it into your local branches, to actually take those changes and go, yep, I'm ready for actually having those changes. And there's that merge thing. And then there's a pull, which is a combination of the two, which we'll talk about again in a second. Don't worry if you don't understand that, we will get back to it. One little note that is super important, and I want you to remember this if you've forgotten everything else that I've just said. Remote tracking branches, they are visible to you. You can see that a remote tracking branch exists, and a remote tracking branch is named thusly. The back half of a remote tracking branch is the same name as your branch. So if it was master, you'd have master. But it has in front of it the name of your server with a /, the name of your remote with a /. So remember, origin is just a nickname for the server. So a correct remote tracking branch name might be origin / master, origin / feature, origin / Kerry's best joke, right? If your remote, if you had extra servers that you were pointing to, this is getting really sort of complex now at this point, it would be the name of that server, upstream / master, right? That's how you know you're looking at a remote tracking branch. So remember that, that's really useful. Git merge, git pull, we'll talk about that in a second. In case my doodles suck, this diagram is really beautiful. I just want to explain the theory of how these changes actually come down to you being able to edit the changes, to be able to see and edit them. So it's fetch to put them in the sort of middle holding area, the remote tracking branches, and then a merge to merge it from the remote tracking branch into your local branches. Again, please don't worry if this is not making any sense. It will, I promise. So git fetch, git merge, or alternatively, a git pull, which is simply a fetch followed by a merge. Simple, okay? Let's do a task, because it makes more sense if you do it yourself. Okay, on your machine, again, don't rush ahead. All I want you to do is this one command and see the output. Please, in your terminal now, inside of the update branch, which you are currently in, no need to change it, type git space fetch and hit enter and see in front of you the output. We're going to talk about the output in just a second. Go. Let me know when you're done in the chat. again, please, if you're thinking remote tracking branch, what the heck? What is going on? It will make sense, I promise you. I just wanted to throw the theory at you, like splat it on the wall, so that then when the sludge falls down behind it, it reveals a beautiful, insightful, oh, dang, that's a remote tracking branch kind of thing. Oh God, Dave permanently added the. Okay, and no other output. Just run it again one more time. I didn't get any output, but normally I do with get fetch. Done and got output. Oh. Okay. Blank output this time, but no error. Thinking. Kate, you've got your SSH key set up, haven't you? I think that's probably the difference. Blank output this time, Dave, but no error. Dave, have you got your SSH key set up? Don't worry if not, because that's actually part of this session. I've got an SSH key set up. Okay. Intrigue. Let me just run it my end, see if there are any... Get fetch. Kerry's is all good?
Yeah.
Okay. Intrigue.
Yours what?
Dave, let's do some debugging on the fly. Dave, just for me, do a git remote -v, and tell me if you see what you see there as your output. If you could, some remote debugging. Anyone else struggling? Yeah, so you're going for SSH origin. Amazing website. Cool. Okay, and your amazing website is all up, like. Dave, did you just do the task before where you updated your forked version of that repository? And was it the forked version that's physical 256? Yes. Damn. Okay.
Is there a way to check the remote, the middly bit?
The
remote tracking branch.
Yeah, this is the bit, unfortunately, that we're updating now, so it won't have an. Oh, I guess. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. If you could just do git show. Yeah, if you could do. I think git show space origin/update, Dave, and see what you get there.
Yeah, you see, that's got the third update in, so it has worked. It's just not giving me an output.
Oh, it has worked. It's not giving you an output.
Fun.
Okay. Fair enough. Ladies and gentlemen, Git. That's the end of this. See you later. Oh, Git, you mysterious mistress. All right. Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. So am I right in thinking that we're all peachy for now? Yes, so Kerry, mine's using HTTP NOS SSH. That's cool. That's good, because that's what we set up last session, the HTTP. But this session, we're going to do it properly later on with the SSH. Okay, cool. This is good. Okay, any other problems? I think we're all cleared up, right? I think. Cool. I think we are all cleared up. Okay, so the output. Marvelous. What just happened? The git fetch says lots of crazy cool stuff, most of which we're not going to go into now. But one of the important things is right at the bottom. You can see that update, arrow origin update, was something that was an output. And a git commit hash, okay, which we've not talked about in the past, but each commit has its own unique ID. You can see that it went from some commit hash to another commit hash. And essentially it's telling you that, oh yes, update changed, and origin update, in fact, has been updated here. And it's gone from some commit hash to another commit hash, okay? So that's a really useful output. Now remember, all we've done is this remote tracking branch. If I asked you to, and I think maybe I do it, no, I don't, okay, cool. If I asked you to now open the updates.txt file on your machine, feel free to do this. If you were to open up that updates.txt file, obviously mine is already updated, but you would only see the two commits still. You haven't got those changes on your machine yet. You've only get fetched, updating the remote tracking branch, okay? So that's what I'm just explaining here. We've just done the fetch bit, so it's in the remote tracking branch. Nice. Let's talk about that git fetch command, because that was a little bit sort of fast-paced and bananas. In fact, I pretty much didn't I, just now? As I said, git fetch doesn't change any of your code that you can physically access on the local branches. It simply downloads updates to the remote tracking branch. Now, a part of you might be going, well, hang on a minute. What happens if, like, my remote tracking branch changes somehow? Isn't there going to be problems there? No, because remember, uneditable by you. A remote tracking branch is simply an observer to the remote. It's your portal, your access to that beautiful server's juicy contents, okay? So the problems with merging things comes in just a second. Next task, okay? Please simply don't rush ahead. Follow this task here, which is asking you to, sorry, I do ask you to do it. First, open the updates.txt file to prove to yourself that there's only 2 updates in there, and then do this command, git merge origin/update. Nice. Oh, a question. Why would you bother doing a fetch and a merge rather than just a pull? Is this more useful with conflict resolution? This is a great question. 99% of times, you want to git pull, but we'll talk about that in a second. It's very rare that you do a git. To be honest, actually, I kind of lie because I always do a git fetch to start my day. So I'll sort of get up, I'll get on the computer, I'll do a git fetch, because what that tells me is all of the branches that have changed and any new branches that the remote has on it, right? Because you get all of that in the output, a much bigger, nicer output. I don't think I have an example that I can show online, unfortunately. But yeah, so I start with a git fetch, right? But then I will never do a git fetch followed by a git merge. If I want a branch to update, I will go on that branch and I'll just do git pull. Because it does the fetch part, but also does the merge part for me. But we'll come to pull in a second. But the reason I'm showing you this is just for the fullness of what's going on. But great question. You're gonna get pull. You're gonna get pull. You won't do this. If you're like me and you're a lunatic and you want to see all of the things that changed whilst you're away, git fetch also tells you all of those things. Right. How are we doing with the git merge? So it's very important that you put the remote tracking branch name as that merge parameter. You'll see why in a second. So, how are we doing? Let me know if people are done. Let's see who's done it. There's a thumbs up. Hang on, I need to move this across here. Dave's got a thumbs up. Anyone else? We'll talk about what this command just did in a second. Katie says, cool. Oh, that's cool. Thanks, I'm glad. Yeah, I think it's really important to know because people will just be like, yeah, just git pull. But yeah, doing it this way, well, it's the hard way, isn't it, I guess? But hopefully it makes a lot of sense. Because that's the thing about Git, isn't it? It's just the hidden away complexity. And I've found that most of the people that I interact with Git have just got like often a post-it note at their desk being like, oh yeah, git add, git checkout, git pull, git push, which is fine as well. I think it's good to know the complexity. Maybe not. How are we doing? Anyone else? Anyone else? Anyone else? Done. Or is there any problems? Speak now or forever hold your peace. Any problems? So the task, by the way, was to simply run git merge origin/update and see the output. Okay, let us go. Before I carry on, I just want to talk about this output here for the git merge, right? What's happened is, let's use this, right? We have maybe we zoom in a little bit here. We've got this commit, right? Sorry, this commit, which has come into the remote tracking branch here, right? And then that's sort of it, right? We've got this remote tracking branch and it's not here physically on our local branches yet. And what we did, remember, we are pointing at the branch update. We are checked out into the branch update. And so when we're saying git merge, what we're actually saying is, because git merge takes one parameter. In fact, I think we talk about this in a second. Git merge takes one parameter, and that is the thing, the commit, the branch, the whatever, the tag that you want to merge into where you are now. So simply say this thing is the thing you want to merge into where you are now. Remember, where we are now is just our local update branch. Okay, and the thing we want to merge is remember we put origin/update, which is the remote tracking branch. So hopefully it's painting a picture. The remote tracking branch, remember, was referred to as origin/update. And we're saying, hey, git merge this thing into where I am now. So bringing it into this final piece of the puzzle. I hope that makes sense. And my terrible doodles. But git merge is a really powerful command that we'll learn about in a second that merges two histories together, changes together. This fast forward thing, when you see fast forward, that should be a sigh of relief to you. Fast forward is a beacon of beautiful, glorious hope because it means that nothing else changed. All I'm doing is winding the tape forward. Fast forward should and will always be a sigh of nothing changed on my end. Nothing changed here in the branch that is being merged into. Git knows that nothing changed, and all that's happening is that my branch is catching up. It's fast forwarding that tape to make sure that I am up to date with the changes. Does that make sense? Because, and now this is the bit where it gets into advanced Git that I'm not going to go into here. There's a fast forward merge and there's different types of merging. Again, not going into this session. Sorry to plug myself. I'm sorry about this, but I do a Git series on YouTube. And in the video about merging, I go into some of the more complexities about fast forward merging and stuff like that. So again, sorry to plug myself, but I just think it's interesting to know. Fast forward, you see it, you should celebrate. It's like, yes. Okay. So we just did this final piece here. So yeah, so 3 ways when you get the oh no second. Yeah, if you we'll see that in a minute. Zoom user, oh that's Jason. Don't think I've ever seen fast forwards alleyways conflicts. Alleyways. I don't know what you mean, so I'm gonna just sort of sidestep it. Yeah, it's interesting. Anyway, check the Git documentation. In fact, don't bother because it's useless. Here we go. Git merge. Git merge is the command that we just talked about. And as I said, this is a huge command that all we're doing is just using it just to sort of pull the remote tracking branch in. There's some really nice documentation out there and some really great articles on this. And this one with the cats, there's a link to it right at the end of these slides. It's Git with cats and it's bloody hilarious. But the Git merge, it's one of the most important commands. It takes the contents of a specified branch, like I said, and combines it into your current branch, right? Merging the pieces together, okay? It doesn't just need to be merging in a remote tracking branch. You could say, hey, I'm on branch update, merge in branch master. Let's get crazy. Let's merge that together, right? You can merge anything together. It's bonkers. And see, there's this idea of, there's a cat with a bow tie. There's a cat with orange. Git merge makes an orange cat with a bow tie. Hopefully you get the idea of it. Now, one important Ben tip that I'm going to give you right now, git merge -- abort. This will be your silver sword in the night, right? Often when I'm doing things that require merge, I immediately do the merge, right? Just to see the chaos that is ensued. And then I safely go to myself, git merge -- abort, which literally goes, that merge, undo it, get rid of it. Back to how it was safely before the merge got anywhere near it. So it's really, for me, I use it as a way to just go, how chaotic is this going to be? Oh, damn, okay, I bought that kind of thing. Yeah, Dave's like chaotic neutral in real life. Absolutely. Chaotic neutral. Amen. And here's a famous meme just to make you smile. I don't know. This is how people portray git merge on the internet because git merge often comes with a high level of anxiety and it shouldn't. I don't know. As somebody trying to help educate people, I should say shouldn't. But to this day, if I see the words conflict, I die a little inside. Anyway, your final task now. All I want you to do on the, as you were just before, you did the git merge. All I want you to do is type in git space pull, right? I'm going to give you a spoiler right now. Just please do it. You should see the text that says already up to date, which basically means, remember git pull, you do a fetch and then a merge, but already up to date means your computer's going, sorry, excuse me, have you not been paying attention? We're updated. Stop it, right? Just have a go at that now. To be honest, you don't really even need to. You can just trust me on that one, but git pull. And then I just want to show you in this diagram completeness, fetch to download, merge to bring it into the editable space, and pull is simply a fetch plus a merge. There is no more complexity than that. That is it. A fetch followed by a merge. And the great question from earlier was, why would you ever do a fetch and then a merge? You wouldn't. You wouldn't. You wouldn't. I'm just making you do it to understand. So 99% of the times you can be in the update branch and you just be like, git pull, and it does it for you. Maybe something else is clicking now, and we're starting to transition, and this is something I think really important. Do you remember last session we did something called a pull request, which doesn't really make any sense in the English language? I'm asking somebody to bring their changes into my code base, but I've used the word pull request. Hopefully you're starting to realize now that the word pull is something significant. It is referring to a git pull, okay? So what the pull request is actually doing is on my server, remember my original repository that the pull request was made to by Kerry. Kerry's literally saying, hey, Ben, please use pull to pull in my changes. And my server, after the pull request has been confirmed and ticked, it goes, aha. Essentially, you can imagine my server's going, yes, git pull, Kerry branch, like that, right? So that's a pull request. And hopefully that clicks a little bit more about what that is. Flash quiz, blah, 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 blah. What command actually downloads the changes from the server to our machine but doesn't yet apply them? Anybody? Go. Dave, straight in there, git fetch. Dave, okay, you know what the next question is going to be. What command combines the contents of the two branches? What command combines the contents of the two branches? Anyone? Mic's on, mic's off, type, text, whatever. Come on. What is it? Anyone? Hello. Let's go.
Merge.
Git merge. Yep. Perfect. Git merge. Marvelous. And finally, what two commands is git pull actually doing under the hood? I won't bother asking it to you guys, but you know it. It's a fetch and a merge. Marvelous. Everyone all right? Let's take a 30-second break. Let's take a 30-second break so I can drink more. Anybody got any questions at this moment in time? We've learned how to update our code base when somebody else has made a change online. So we're starting to learn the whole progress of interacting with other people. We're going to get onto some fun now.
Hang on.
Everyone doing okay? Need a shake?
Can you hear me okay?
Hey?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a question. So before you mentioned git merge and then double dash abort, if we just did a git pull, is there an equivalent command where it's like pull dash dash abort, or can this only be used for git merge when you do fetch and merge?
Great question. You can't do a git pull dash dash abort, but the git pull is doing a fetch and then a merge. So if you did have conflicts or something, you could use the command git merge dash dash abort on a pull that has not succeeded, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Cool.
Thanks.
So does that mean it always does? It will not. If you do a git pull, it will kill the merge if there are conflicts.
Yes. Okay. So let's get to this thing here. So we'll kill the. Can you just repeat that bit for me again?
So if you just do git pull, will it do the fetch and then on the merge it kills the merge?
Correct.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah. So it'll do the fetch, which will always be successful into your remote tracking branch. And then the bit afterwards, it tries to do the git merge. And if it can't, right? Remember, I drew a thick line circle, which in our iconography means a commit, right? If it does a successful merge, it will have made a commit in your history. And the merge commits are really useful to identify because they always start with merge something. So you can see these merge commits here in the history. And in fact, let me show you something else. Git.org. That's not what we're doing. Where's that merge? There you go. See, a non-merge commit looks like that. A merge commit has this extra line, merge, because it's merging two histories together. So it needs to, in order for the DAG, see, I said that so confidently. It's acyclical graph, directional acyclical graph. Anyway, git commits know about their parents. They know about the ones before. So a git merge commit has obviously two parents. So it is letting us know, ooh, there you go. What was your question again? I answered it, right? Did I answer it?
Yeah, you answered it. Thank you.
Okay. Oh, it's hot. All right, let's roll on. Anyway, we're going to do some merging now. Now we're going to get crazy anyway. One more question. Dave said, so the RT... Oh, sorry, Mike's here. So the RTB would be up to date with the remote, but the local won't be with that. Correct. Yes. Yes. So, if the merge failed... if the pull failed because of the merge part, you could... you could, instead of rerunning git pull at a later time, wasting a fetch, you could just do the git merge part of it and you've achieved the same effect, if that makes sense. I'm getting a bit meta with it now. Let's not bother. Right, conflicts. Here we go. The great question on everybody's mind. We have Sam Orange and Sam Yellow. And both of these lunatics are working on the same file. Not only that, they are working on the same line. Anxiety-stricken moments. What happens when these two lunatics try to bring changes in together at the same time? Well, this wonderful word that will strike fear into the heart of any developer: conflicts. Conflicts. First of all, let's just start, before we know what a conflict is, let's find out how to spot them. Because in the terminal, it's quite easy to spot them. Git is a little whiny little pain in the butt when conflicts happen. It will complain a lot, and it will not stop complaining. It will not. You will see words like conflict, or you'll see words like both modified, as it's passive-aggressively telling you, hey, I don't know what to do. And you'll see weird symbols in the file. So let's just look at this. In the merge bit, so once you've done a failed pull or a failed merge, you'll see in big, horrible letters, conflict. And it'll say which file there are conflicts. In the git status, you'll see things saying, hey, fix the conflicts, asshole, or the words both modified. And then oh dear, there's a problem. And inside of that file, when a failed merge has tried to take place, you'll see these horrendous icons, a bunch of chevrons, a bunch of equal sign, and another bunch of chevrons. These are called conflict markers. They show you, this is the bit that's important, they show you whereabouts in the file Git found a conflict that it could not automatically resolve, aka bloody Sam Orange and bloody Sam Yellow working on the same file on the same line. Sam Orange and Sam Yellow. Guess what? Let's cause a conflict. Hang on, I need to read my notes. Note to Ben, conflict branch, make sure commit and push. Change me file, please. Okay, here we go. I'm Sam Orange, the top one. I'm Sam Orange, and I want to do a conflict. I'm going to git checkout conflict. I'm inside the conflict branch now. So git branch. I can't see because this silly thing at the top of my thing. I'm in the conflict branch now. Wait, conflict or conflict? Conflict. Okay. I'm going to make a conflict happen. I'm going to change the change me file. And I'm going to go down to line 9. And it says, please enter your name here. I'm going to go Ben. I'm going to put in brackets Sam Orange, because why not? Okay, I'm going to save and close. I'm going to git status, as we always should, git add, git status again, git commit. I'm using my aliases. I'll show you those at the end of the session. And I'm going to put like, this conflict is fire, and save and close. And now I've committed. Let's look at git log. The top commit, which is here, is conflict. And guess what I'm going to do now? I'm going to git push origin conflicts, like we just did before. I don't know why I was making such a show of that. I'm going to upload my changes to the conflicts branch. Any ideas what you're going to do? Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's what you're going to do. Now, what I would like you to do, and this, please don't run ahead again. This is something interesting that we're doing to start off with to make our lives a little bit easier, and then we'll do the conflicty stuff. What I want you to do is, first of all, run this command. Why does my git log look so fancy? I'll show you later, but I'll show you here now. I've got GL, alias to git log one line graph, which basically does all of that stuff for you. We'll come back to that in a second. Some aliases, they're dope. Before we carry on to the conflicts, I want you to add another remote to your system. Now, this is something completely different than conflicts, but we're doing this to make our lives easier, okay? We will rarely use this command, but what this does, right, if I can just go back to Oh, it's in the slides coming next. If I can just go back to this diagram here, right? We had my repo, your forked version of it, and we always had to do this stupid in the middle, updating thing. Ugh, can't be bothered with that. We're going to skip the middleman. What I'm going to do now with this command, this git remote add, is take my origin, the URL pointing to my remote, and sort of add it as something that your Git system knows about, okay, as a second remote. Now, this is where the word origin becomes important. Remember, origin was just a nickname for the server. Origin is a nickname specifically for your forked version of the repository. But what we're saying here is add Cordelio Amazing Website and call it upstream. Now we have two remotes, origin and upstream. And what we can do then, instead of relying just on your forked version, we can rely on any of them. We can read and write to your forked version. You have permissions, but you can read from my original directly without having to do that bit in the middle, okay? So we're just doing this setting up the remote now to make life easier for us a little bit later. So if you have problems at this stage, please let me know. But for now, please run that command, git space remote space add space upstream. You can call it whatever you want, just call it upstream so that we all stay together. And then the URL to my original repo, which is Cordelio/amazing website. Please do that now. Once you've done that, run git fetch, but don't forget to add the word upstream to it afterwards. In fact, that last bit of the command is redundant because you're now taking my branch after I've done the push already, which I should have done after you'd all added the remote, but hey, hindsight. Lots of output this time. Yep. I think good output, right? I think good output. Yep, actual output. And for completeness here, right? For completeness, if you type in git remote, I can't see because this green little banner, remote -v, right? Once you've done that command, you won't just see origin push and fetch. You'll see origin push and fetch and upstream push and fetch, right? Or I think at least fetch, maybe not push, but we'll see. It's not important. Oh, sorry, that's the task. Anybody struggling? Anybody get problems? This is a weird little extra complex bit that we're doing, but we're just doing it to make life easy for the next bit. Any problems? Fetch and push are both there. Fetch and push on upstream too. Dope, awesome. It's just that, in fact, this might be fun. We'll do this in a minute. Remember I said about in that diagram, clicks, Ben. Here, the two arrows for origin, because you own it and have permissions, but only one arrow for upstream because it's mine. Something that we'll test in a second that I'm 99% confident of, but this is a live demo and things always go wrong, is if one of you just wildly pushes to upstream master instead. So my origin is SSH. Yes, that's because I've cheated and set up SSH. But you're going to do that again in a second. Both HTTP, perfect, Kerry. That's absolutely fine. We're going to get to the SSH later if we've got time. Flipping hell, how does time always fly by? I have the same king, Kerry, perfect. Yeah, HTTP is as it should be. That's what I wanted you to do in the tasks, sorry. Left. Here, I wanted you to do a HTTP setup. We're going to do the SSH later. See my question above. Totally off topic, but why does my origin have .git at the end and the upstream doesn't? Totally because it, the only reason is because when we first did the tutorial back in part 1, we had the .git suffix on it. You can have with the .git or you can have without. It makes no difference. It's simply because the .git was there in my original tutorial tasks, I believe. But yeah, literally, if you started all over again and did a git clone amazing website without the .git, it'd work perfectly. It really doesn't matter, yeah. Right, everyone good? Please speak now, forever hold your peace. We've got to move. Okay, here we go. Right. So, as I said, you can have multiple remotes. I'm just going to cover this bit very quickly. And you can have origin, upstream, elsewhere, whatever. You can have multiple remotes on that your Git system knows about. So you can download, upload to different places. Amazing. And obviously, with different remotes comes different remote tracking branches. So by doing that now on your machine, you will have not only origin master, you'll have upstream master as well. Nice, which you'll rarely do, but don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. 99% of the times you'll just have the one. And again, back to this diagram, what we've just done is sort of brought over my repository underneath the line of separation so that you can just directly talk to that instead of having to have your forked as a middleman. Nice. All right, now we get to the conflicts bit. Okay, please follow the task that you see on screen. I'll just talk. Please go for it now, begin, but I will start to talk as you're doing the tasks. So I would like you to open the changeme.txt file on your machine as well. You see where I'm going with this here, right? Remember, the branch that you're currently in, wait, which branch did we switch branch? Shit, did I get you to switch branch? I'm stupid, I didn't put it in the task. I think I wanted you to switch to the, 2 seconds. Oh, Ben, come on. Amateur hour.
Yeah, we've not got.
Yeah. Okay. As the first thing I want you to do, I want you to git check out conflict as the very first thing that you do, so that you move into the conflicts branch. Conflicts branch. Sorry about that, everybody. And then inside the conflicts branch, you'll have the changeme.txt. Right. Back to the tasks. Okay. Sorry about that. So first thing, git check.
Not until you merge upstream, you won't, because it wasn't on the original update. It wasn't on the original repo, at least from the first session. I've only got update branch and main at the minute.
And what happens when you check out?
It'll let me check it out, but there's just nothing new to it, is there?
Oh no, yeah, no, that's the point. Yeah, sorry.
It needs to make changeme.txt.
But you've got changeme.txt that's got the blank line in it, right?
No,
Ruh-roh.
because it's an empty branch.
It shouldn't be. Conflicts.
You won't even.
Oh, please say that I didn't stuff
You've
this.
added this after.
No, I thought I did it before. No, it's there.
But I promise it's not. Because you're in the conflicts branch there. The conflicts branch doesn't exist at this point. So we merge it. The only branches I've got on the original one, I've got main and I've got updates. That's it.
Hang on 1 second, then let me deal with this. I didn't go into my Docker instance. Oh, it's kicked me out. Stupid. Sorry, hang on. Oh, Docker's not running. Sorry, everyone, hang on.
You gotta love live sessions.
Oh, mate.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a proper workshop if there weren't some technical hitches.
Damn it, I thought I had...
Why is it was me that manages to break you, Ben?
Because I've not thought this through. Alpine. No! Let me in. Docker's running, isn't it? Oh, no, Docker's not running. Oh, okay. Sorry, everyone. 2 seconds. Let me compose myself. Docker. I'm using Docker to have like a fake virtual machine on my computer, basically. So I'm going to load up a naked instance of a machine, but Docker's not booting up because why would it? All right, let me think about this. New idea. 635. Right, sorry. Don't need a Docker instance, just put it on a different place in my computer. This is a nightmare. Did I not update it? I swear I updated it. I didn't. Okay.
But I mean, we could merge it now, and then
Yeah.
you can make another change.
Yeah.
And that puts us in the same place.
Oh, I was so sure that I'd updated this thing. Anyway, there we go. Stupid me. Yeah, all right. Well, thank you for pointing that out. Right, so instead, on your machine then, let's think about this. Do git, I can't see my prompt, git merge upstream /conflicts. Nope. because it's on the. Oh man. Okay, hang on. Can you not see it because of the upstream? If you do git upstream / conflicts, git checkout upstream / conflicts. Obviously, I've not got a upstream, have I? Anyone? Anyone? Save me. I made a mistake.
It's giving me some warning about being in a detached head state, which is quite appropriate, I think.
What have I missed here? Git fetch upstream. Now use it for the tracking upstream. Did we do the git fetch upstream? I said it wasn't worth it, right? Because
You would have done the fetch.
I should have done the thing between these points. Ah. All right, let me think about this.
Can we not merge upstream completely?
Yeah, but if
I
the
mean, why don't we just merge upstream as it is? Then you make another change, and then we try and merge that in, and there'll be a conflict, right?
Yeah, you've got a conflicts branch, right?
No.
No one's got a conflicts branch
No.
on their machine. What the hell's going on? So okay, fine. Git push branch then. Yeah. Oh. Oh right, because I'm in the wrong folder. Okay, yeah, got it. Right, let's do this then. Did I not make changes? What is that? Get lost. Oi, oi, oi. Amazing website. Right. Oh, yeah, because I bloody cloned the amazing website into this. This is a nightmare. Anybody watching this video post, I'm so sorry. I am an idiot. Right. Let's push this branch then. We've done that. What we want to do is then pull. Yeah, but if you git fetch upstream now, because you know about my branch, right? Is this making sense? And then git checkout conflict as it is. That should work. Anyone?
If I do that, I get.
Conflict matched with more than one remote tracking branch.
Perfect. So then stick upstream in front of that.
I don't get that. I get something completely different.
What do you get?
If you meant to check out a remote tracking branch on Origin, you can do so by. Is there something really long? Yeah, the same as what Katie just pasted.
Origin, right, hang on. So if I do...
Do we need to do git checkout upstream conflicts or?
If a branch does not exist in tracking branch, git checkout track remote. So it should be... What the heck is going on? Track, no, we don't want track remotes. Oh, this is a nightmare. I'm sorry, everyone.
So we just do git pull.
So try with the hyphen track then, right? Git checkout hyphen track.
Do we need upstream?
Upstream / yeah.
Yeah. And that works, I think. Branch conflict set up to track remote branch from upstream. And the change me is there.
What the? Okay. So we all good then? I think someone's in a detached head state. Dave, that's you in a detached head. Just do git checkout with conflicts without the remote now and see if that works. Oh, I should have tested this before I launched into it. I should have just...
That's giving me the two remotes with a reference at match, Jen.
Right, okay, so you've got both on your machine then. You'll have origin conflicts and upstream conflicts. Man alive, pizza pie.
How do I even see that?
Oh, you got the...
Oh, sorry. If you do git branch -a, and just tell me if that's right, what I've just said.
Yes.
One of those, and then one of
Origin
those again.
conflict.
Yeah. and you've got not a local
If I
conflict.
check out origin conflicts, that'll be right then, surely.
Yeah. I thought you didn't have the origin conflicts. Is that carry? Oh, we've got two different things going on here. Oopsie day. Yeah, try that.
Okay,
Git,
now not headless.
git check out -- track origin conflicts.
Git check out -- track. Yeah, sorted.
Okay. Honestly, I'm going to be very honest. Not sure why that's the case.
Yeah, okay, so I now have change.me.text. Happy days.
Is it simply because remote tracking branches can't be directly checked out like that? That's weird. I've got to be honest. I'm not sure what's happened there. Thank you, Kate and Kerry, for sorting that. I'm going to look into that and come back to you on that one. But we've all got now a conflicts branch with the change me file, right? And if you have then, let's go back to this. If you could go into that change.me.txt file and where the word Ben is now, Ben Orange Sam or whatever it was, change that bit to be your name. Yes, this will work. This will work. Okay, but don't carry on with this task, actually. This task is wrong now. All I want you to do is change the name, part 1, add it, do the usual add and commit to the Git repository there, yeah? Does that make sense? So just change the name, add and commit the changes for now. Okay. Okay. So I did this, you did this, I'm gonna do this, and then we're gonna do this now that things are as they should. Because what I should have done was this component, this one of these things beforehand, which I didn't do, which is my bad. All right, is everyone all right now? Are we all at that point where we've made a change, we've added and committed? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Thumbs up, nice.
All
Okay,
good.
cool. I'm sorry about this. I should have tested. I swear I did that. Anyway, doesn't matter. All right, now you've added and committed, so you've locked in your changes into the history, right? I did that. You did this, so you've done this commit here. Oh right, git config went wrong. Oh, look at commit went wrong. Good lord. Okay, and what I'm going to do now is this bit again, right? So I'm just gonna double check that I'm doing everything correctly here as I go. Change me where it's Ben now. Sam Orange. I'm gonna do change till the end. Blah 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 blah. Because I haven't got the brain capacity. Git add, git commit. Blah 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 blah. Da 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 da. Git push branch. Right. Okay, we're now at the stage where we should have been before. So here. So inside the change me text, you've got your name, you've added and committed to the commit history. That's the important part, right? Now what I want you to do, right? So you did that, and I've just done this as well. What I want you to do now is a git fetch upstream. So this bit, hang on. This bit, git fetch space upstream. Okay, so to download the changes of my repository into your remote tracking branches. So that's the first step, git fetch upstream. Once you've done that, on your machine now, your remote tracking branch of upstream conflict will have my new changes in it. And if you hadn't guessed it, the final bit is finally this bit. Git merge upstream / conflict. And we're finally back on track to where we should be. Do that now. It will cause conflicts. The thing is, how am I going to get the conflicts on my machine?
Yeah.
Oh, no. I
Conflict.
just
Merge
realized.
conflict. and
I was meant to
change.
use my alt account for this conflict. Doesn't
Did you
matter.
get a
It's too late now.
Yeah.
Okay. People merging. Let me know when you've merged or attempted to merge. Done and have conflict. Katie, marvelous. We're in the state that we should be. Done and have conflicts. Do you want my fork, Ben? Oh, yes, please. Yeah. Just chuck me that URL, and then I can. Dave, can you also then do git push origin conflict as well on your fork, please? Oh, you just gave me a fork before, didn't you? Oh, nice, thanks. Thank you. Git remote add. I'm going to call it Dave. All right, so I've got git remote hyphen. Oh, come on. Git remote hyphen v, enter. And there's Dave as another thing for me. I'm going to git fetch Dave. Dave, not Dave, Dave. Oh, nice. I've got all of Dave's branches. So if I use GBA, I can see that I've got remotes origin and remotes Dave. Nice. Okay, I'm going to do that. Thanks, Dave. I'm going to do the conflict on my side as well. So if you do git merge, I'm going to do git merge Dave/conflicts. Did you push Dave? I think so. Hooray! Okay, I have conflicts as well. Marvelous. Right, back to the slides, the safety of the slides. We now have conflicts to deal with. Okay. Once we've identified that we've got conflicts, we need to deal with them. And it's essentially Git is telling us that two things or more have changed at the same time, and it doesn't know what to do about it. It's the same line. They both happened at the same time. It's not sure. It needs human intervention. And what it'll do, it'll litter your file with these conflict markers. So let me just show you that. If I open up change me, you can see down here in this area are conflict markers. Head is a roughly translated, if you ever see head, it's like where I'm pointing to right now. So head, where I'm pointing to right now, which is my local branch conflict that I changed, is here between the chevrons and the equal sign. That's option 1. And then option 2, from the equal sign down to the other chevrons, that's option 2, and it's saying where it came from. Oh, this came from Dave conflict. This is Dave's version of the change. And you can see nice and clearly that obviously his version has David in and my version has blah, 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 blah in, right? So now, how to fix it? Git status, you can see, again, both changed. It says, please fix the conflicts and run git commit. It's very simple to fix conflicts in a manual way, right? Often you'll use an IDE and it'll do like little green bits and stuff, and that's fine, but let's manually fix a conflict, okay? All I want you to do is open the file, locate those those conflict markers, and then remove everything that you don't want. Remove everything that you don't want, including the conflict markers, but leave only your line. Leave only the line with your name in it, yeah? So if I'm gonna do that, I would open up the change me text and I would go, oh yeah, actually, sorry, Dave, screw you, delete that. Delete the conflict markers around that. And I'm leaving my line because my line is the one that I want. I'm going to save and close, okay? Once you've changed the file to remove the conflict markers, AKA you have dealt with the conflict, it's as simple as continuing your normal Git process, Git add and Git commit. And you can, if you ever forget that, you can Git status. And when you're in a conflict mode, it sort of tells you that. It says, fix the conflicts and run Git commit. And down here, it's saying you have, please use Git add. So it's telling you to do the usual Git add, Git commit. In fact, it's along the bottom as well, Git add and or Git commit. So I'm going to do Git. I'm going to zoom out a little bit because my thing's all Git add dot to load the changes. And it even says, look, all the conflicts have been fixed, but still merging. So to conclude it, to finish it, we do a Git commit, okay? Hit enter, and you can see this is the best part. Remember I said about merge commits, always start with the word merge so you can sort of identify them nicely. It's auto-populated the commit message for me, and I'm not going to change it, okay? So I'm going to save and quit, and my commit has finished. So all I'd like you to do now is all of you do that process, please. Let me know when you're done. So open the file, remove all of the conflict marker crap that you don't want, and remove the line that you don't want. Leave exactly the file in the state that you want it to be after the merge. Once you've done it, save the file, Git add, Git commit, and you've dealt with a conflict. And I'm gonna shoot myself. Let me know when you're done. In the chat, let me know when you're done. manually dealing with conflicts.
So then you have to type escape.
In IDEs and source tree and stuff, you won't see those conflict markers. It'll get rid of those for you, and it'll color things in oh, this was green, this was added, this is red, this is where there's a conflict, please pick between the two. But this is the manual way, the physical conflict marker resolution.
Okay, close that.
So probably get a Vim script to do the same. Yeah. Oh, hang on, Dave. For you, I have a thing. Oh shoot. Hang on. Let me git reset -- hard head 1. So I've just destroyed the merge commit that we did there, right? So I'm back to how it was before. Excuse me. I'm going to rerun the merge 693. Get the conflict again, and then for you, Dave, and for anyone else, there's a built-in tool that you can do called vimdiff, but you can trigger it by doing git merge tool, and it's saying, yeah, here's the things, and it'll take you through a almost visual merge process, and it's a pain in the ass to use. But there you go, just in case you want a Vimy way.
Can you do it not in Vim?
Hey,
Is there a way to do that but not in Vim?
like that merge tool thing.
Yeah.
That unfortunately merge tool is a Vim thing.
Oh, right, okay.
It's like opening Vim with different buffers, but there must be other ways to do it, like an Emacs thing maybe.
Okay.
Or graphical, getting in source tree, open up VS Code, whatever, all that stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. And to be honest, I'm gonna be honest with you now. If it's a very small merge, if it's 2 or 3 files that are merged and have conflicts, I'll use merge tool. The moment it goes over that, I'm like, nope. I haven't the time for this. So Android Studio, where I spend most of my life, has a Git differ in it, and I'll just use that. That's a sin of mine. I confess to you all now. But ain't nobody got time for that.
Conflicts are the worst, though.
Hey?
Conflicts are the worst.
They are the worst. They are the worst. Okay, are we all done? Are we all dealt with our conflicts? Anybody not done, or have any questions? So obviously, congratulations. That was a very simple version of a conflict, but my intention, other than fucking up big time, was to show you about conflict markers, tell you how to spot when you have conflict problems, manually deal with them, which this bit you will probably never do because you're all sane human beings. But the last bit is once you've dealt with it, what you actually do. And it's simply continue with the Git process. Git add, because you've made changes, so you want to add those changes to the cookie basket, and Git commit because you've got a cookie basket. And Git will nicely and kindly auto-populate that commit message with the word merge, blah, 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 which you can get rid of if you choose to. I would not recommend it. It's a standard across Git. If you see merge with a capital M, you're like, right, that's a merge commit, Anyway, congratulations, though, because you've manually dealt with a conflict. Right. Oh, we're almost there. Holy moly, 20 minutes. We'll get through this. Right. There's a recap of what we've just covered. I was going to spend more time on that, but I won't bother. Any questions at this point? Thanks for saving my bacon, by the way, before you. I should have prepared better. Right. And we've got another if time allows. We've got 20 minutes. I think time allows. Let's talk about authentication, which is really highly important. The correct way of doing authentication, because we have not been doing it correctly so far, apart from Dave. Dave has. Correct authentication. What am I talking about? Remember last session, I don't know if you remember this, but we did this chaotic thing of creating a personal access token so that we could push up to our GitHub repository. Because remember, we can't just upload as any Bob or Sally to the GitHub repository. We need to be authenticated. We need to say, yes, I am Cardelio. I am that user. And a personal access token let us use HTTP as our protocol to do that uploading. And that is bad. This is not the way. No, bad Ben. I did this because of speed. I needed to get you downloading and uploading fast, but this is not the way. The way is SSH. I'm not going to go into it because SSH is a whole thing that I actually really recommend you look into. It's fascinating. But essentially, we have HTTP, which we're all semi-used to. It's web requests. Hey, facebook.com, HTTP request. Give me index HTML, and it'll give you that as HTTP. And then we have SSH, which stands for Secure Shell. Again, not going into it, but it's essentially another network protocol. It's securer. It is securer. Users need to have an account, quotes, an account, no passwords, depending on how you access it, but no passwords, and access can be easily revoked as well, which is powerful, powerful, powerful. Here's a rough diagram of, and this is away from GitHub now, this is just generic SSH, how it works. There's a user on the left, a client, trying to access a server, trying to log on to a server via SSH, right? What happens is the client has two keys generated, and keys are just nonsense in a file, right? And they are a public key and a private key. Here, you can see this. The public key can be, as it says, public. So you could give that to the server. You could say, hey, server, have my public key. And the server goes, yes, yum, 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 yum. I have this public key, nice. But nobody ever should ever see your private key. That is a tip for life. If your private key gets exposed, delete it. It is too late. Anyway, and then what you do when you want to actually access the server is you can use your private key. Is it over here? Is it over here? No, it's not here. You can use your private key. I wasn't meant to go into this, but I have done because I'm an idiot. You can use your private key to lock away your little network messages and encrypt it. And guess what? The only thing that can unencrypt it is your public key. Oh yeah. So you can send over to the server this encrypted ball of nonsense that can't be intercepted and is secure and all that kind of stuff. And the server can use your public key to go unlock. Aha, nice. Anyway, SSH, fascinating. There's some great videos on YouTube about it. But what we're essentially doing here, let's go back to our GitHub and Git, right? We don't want to use HTTP because we don't want to generate a public a personal access token. We want to use a secure, good way of communicating with Git. We don't want passwords or public access, private access tokens. We want to just set up SSH once and use it forever and have it secure. So GitHub is our server. So back in this diagram where we were giving our public key to the server, we need to give GitHub our public key. So let's do that. To start with, we need to generate the public key pairing. Dave, I guess you probably don't need to be doing this. We need to generate these two keys here, the public and the private key. And it couldn't be easier. There's a command on your machine if you've got SSH. Oh, I didn't think about this. People won't have SSH. Oh my God. Okay, we'll see what happens. SSH-keygen, right? This is generate the key pairings, please. -T for like the protocol-y thing that it does to do the key generation and encryption stuff. I don't know. And then the B, the bit size, like the size of the key. And it's recommended nowadays to have a key that's like 4K and upwards. So if you run those commands now, let me know the problems because I definitely didn't plan this well enough. People are going to have problems. Once you've done the SSH keygen command that you can see right in front of you, it will create a public and a private key on your computer. The problem is you might not see it. It might not be obviously in front of you. If you go to your home folder on your machine, right, your home directory where your user has all of your like documents and downloads folder, there should be a folder called .ssh, which is a hidden away folder. And inside of that folder is where your public and private key pairing is. P's asked about passphrases. The cyber defensey part of my brain goes yes, but for this, don't bother. I think it's probably advised, but feel free. Should I say it out loud? I don't have on mine, like it's just an extra step because what that'll do if you had a passphrase is when you're making an SSH network request like the Git stuff, it'll go, oh, give me a password for your keys, please. Basically, like an extra layer. So it's probably a good idea. Oh, sorry, there's messages I'm missing. Don't you need your email for the key pair for GitHub? You don't. Cool. Oh God, there's other messages. Can probably do this because before I accidentally commit access to it. Nice. Okay, I see you. Okay, cool. Oh my goodness. Okay, so once you've generated your key pair, please go and find inside of that .ssh folder. There should be a file called ID_RSA. One of them that is ID_RSA pub.pub, and one that is not. Let me say it obviously out loud right now. .pub is the public key. The one without .pub is not the public key, and don't bother opening it. Don't bother looking at it. That is your private key. Leave it alone. Share it with no one. More messages. Did you say if you add a passphrase, then it will ask you a password each time you do a git push? Yes, I believe that's the case. You might have like a credential storer on your computer that stores that credential for X amount of time. So it might not happen every time, but it might happen, if that makes sense. Kerry's come to save the day. Yeah, cool. PB copy. If people don't have PB copy though, we'll see.
Use that.
Yes, I want you to open up the pub file and copy the contents. Oh, and then there's the Windows versions. Okay, if you've got a Mac, follow Kerry's PB copy and just copy that into your terminal. And if you've got a Windows machine, follow what Dave said. If you don't have PB copy installed, I assume Clips by default, or Linux cat it out. Yeah, I basically want you to copy the contents, the entire contents of that .pub file. Okay. I'm going to move forward. Once you've copied the entire contents of the pub file, go to GitHub, and this is really important and useful for the future. Go to your profile thing in the top right, go to settings, and inside of settings, there should be an SSH and GPG keys option. Click on that. Why have I done 1 over here, 2 here, and 3 there? What an idiot. SSH keys and GPG keys. Number 2, hit new SSH key. Number 3, paste the big block of text into the block that says key, and in the title, give it a title. Like, this is up to you what it's called. It's usually a good idea to remember, to remind yourself what that key is for. So Ben's laptop, Ben's work laptop, something like that. It's a way for you to remember it when you see it. Because remember I said, SSH keys can be revoked easily. So this is a way for you to go, who's got SSH connection? Oh, revoke, that kind of thing, right? So do that now. SSH and GPG keys, add new SSH key, paste the big block into the key area, give it a name you'll remember. Any problems, please hit me now. We're coming towards the end of the session. I want to make sure we get this bit done. And I'm sorry, I'm almost running over again. Any problems, anyone?
Some reference to your laptop.
Any problems? I think we're good. No one had SSH agent not running at least. Well, yeah, it seems that way.
Mine's good.
We're touching wood. I was waiting for that, like something good, like SSH keygen is not a known command, and in which case I just go. I just leave. Like, okay, cool. Thank you, computers. We had a good run. Can't see Oh no, if they changed the watch them have gone and flipping changed the wrong browser over here. I'm just doing it on over here. Down here, to settings. That one, sorry. SSH and GPG keys. I think I was looking at the wrong page. Okay. GitHub's always changing things. Oh, is this things that shouldn't be visible on a video? No, these are fine. These are fine because they're not actually showing any details. So all good. All good in the hood. Should have left it on my left screen anyway. Doesn't matter. Live and learn. All right, cool. Everyone good? Just give a couple more seconds. We can yeet them out if needed. Yeah, that's true. But they were both fine. They were just shards of the key, so it's all good. All good?
All good here.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Rock and roll. Nice. Now, this is the bit that gets confusing, okay? Let me just physically show you this thing, and then you can do these commands to change it, because I want you to understand why these commands are happening. Remember last session we were talking about a git config, right? Where's it gone now? Oh, yeah. Okay, right. Yeah, obviously I haven't got it on mine because I'm already SSH'd up. If you do a git config -- list, you'll see with your remote.origin.url, you'll see instead of what I've got, which is an SSH URL, you'll see a HTTP URL. So it'll start with http://github, right? Which is basically saying to Git, hey, when you are needing to access this remote called Origin, here's your URL, and thus here is your network protocol to be using for it. So with HTTP, Git just goes, oh, HTTP, cool, I'll read. And then when I push, I need a personal access token, right? But if we change that, which we'll do in just a second, to the SSH thing, what it'll do, instead of using HTTP, it'll go, aha, I need to create an SSH connection. Let's do some keys, let's do all that kind of jazz, right? So this first command here is exactly that. Git remote set URL origin. It's saying, hey, set the URL for the origin server. And remember, origin is your forked version of the repository to be this thing. And now this is a SSH SSH-based URL. And with SSH, you always have a user at the front. So your user is Git. On GitHub, it's Git. You have the domain, and then you have the colon and the, for SSH, it's like the folder structure. So essentially, you're having your GitHub username followed by the repository that you're trying to connect to. I hope that makes sense. Do that now. And the orange bit where it says your_user, obviously, please change it to be your GitHub user. Do that now. Any problems, let me know. Git remote set URL origin. And again, as I'm saying, before we had our origin URL to be a HTTP one. We're now just correcting finally that mistake to be SSH instead. And I'll show you in just a second what to do in the future clones. Once you've done that, just check it with git remote v. So git remote v is such a great command. Git remote -v and just check now that your origin doesn't say HTTP anymore. It should say git@github.com, blah, 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 blah. Nice. And now test that you don't need to enter a username and password like we did last time. This is really important just to prove to you that what you've done now is huge. Create a branch. So git branch... git branch and call it whatever you want. It's really not important. Create a branch and git push origin and that name of the branch. And if it doesn't ask for your credentials, then you've used SSH successfully. Try that now. I'm tired. Oh, nice. Yeah. Can also test with SSH-T.
Oh no, mine's broken.
Disable sudo terminal allocation. Okay. Cool. Didn't know that. Fatal. Does not appear to be a GitHub URL. Git repository. Please make sure you have the correct access rights to the repository. Katie, where you've got .git, get rid of the .git at the end. Shoot, did I put .git on here? I did. The .git's actually fine. As I said, it's really redundant, but I don't know why you're not getting... Let me check that Robbie's got a repository. Katie. Sorry, I'm totally doxing your GitHub account now. Repositories, amazing website. It's right there. What's happening? What's happening, y'all? Let's check out the... Oh, I'm not logged in.
You've got the URL wrong, Katie. Git@github.com:username.
Shoot. Oh, phew. Okay, cool. Yeah. Good spot, Dave.
The first time I heard about
10 points to Dave.
So it just...
So, Katie, just run this command again, the git remote set URL command. It'll just overwrite that. Whew. Okay.
Ben, so like this one, on Dan's machine, it's saying that the authenticity of GitHub can't be established. And then it just says, do you want to continue? So like it works if you just type yes, but why does that come up?
That's a great question. That really shouldn't. That's a really great question. Let's have a look. Sorry. It shouldn't do that. It might do that, but that's weird, actually.
It gave, when I first ran it, it gave me a message about adding it to the list of known hosts.
Yeah, known hosts make sense, but not like the authenticity. That's really peculiar.
That sounds like it's very much not a known host.
Afterwards, it says permanently adding
the ID.
List of known hosts, yeah.
So because I guess it says github.com, and then it's got like the IP address in brackets.
Okay. Could it be things that are out of my knowledge domain, and I'm thinking like DNS stuff at this point that I have no idea about?
Or is it some weird public Wi-Fi thing with just being in IC1?
Could be that.
Mine worked fine though.
I'm on my phone.
Have you authenticated on GitHub before though?
Wait, what?
With SSH?
No,
Oh, I don't know then.
you're on your phone.
Yeah.
It might be because it's phone Wi-Fi.
Oh, like you 3G connected or whatever.
Yeah, like hotspotting off my phone.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, first time I ran it, it gave me the same sort of thing with like adding to list of known hosts thing. It's not on the list of known hosts. It's going to say, "Oh, I don't know who this is," and then I'll add it to the list of known hosts. That would make sense.
That would make sense, but weird. Anyway, if as long as you can trust GitHub, which I think we can. All right, is everyone all up to scratch with that? Any issues? Just the same thing on my home PC. I just ignored. Oops. Yeah. No, that's fine. I think it's fine. If you're connecting to random boxes on the internet, that's probably not fine. But I think GitHub should be all right. I genuinely think this is a DNS thing. Honestly, I'm guessing that I don't know enough about DNS, so I won't even go down that route. Forget that. Anyway, right, so let's talk about future clones, because remember, in the very first session, we cloned, and we used the HTTP tab, right, to do our clone. From now on, if you're using that computer, if you're using that user that we set up the SSH keys for, when you git clone anything, you should use the SSH URL instead, and then you will immediately have all of the credentially goodness that you need and not need to make a public... an access token or anything like that. You will be using SSH out of the box. Okay, so there's just a little tip. When you're cloning something, think git clone. Every time you go on GitHub, you got the little clone thing. Just make your brain stop for a second and go, not HTTP. Let me just move over to SSH. Okay, and use that URL instead for the git clone. Huzzah! We did it with 2 minutes to spare. Okay. There's a big recap here. I won't bother with it. There's a bunch of links here, which I will bother with. More about SSH, because it's a really fantastic thing to learn out of the box. It's a good way, like, other than sort of GitHub usage, SSH is actually used for like logging onto another machine. So if I've got like a web server somewhere in the world and I need to do some maintenance, I'll use SSH to have a secure shell on that machine and log into it, quotes, log into it, and have that sort of interaction. More about Git and the that cat merge thing that I was talking about, some Git handbook stuff, some GUI stuff at the bottom there. I will try and, in fact, you know what? Copy. Paste, it worked. I pasted it straight into the chat. And now there is no time because I had another if time allows thing, but this was just like a Hail Mary extra thing just in case we needed time filling. Otherwise, thank you very much. I'm so sorry about the mess with the conflicts thing. I thought I dealt with that. I hope all that makes sense. I'm still here if people have any questions, but do people have any questions? How was that? I noticed the headless tabby isn't in Git with cats. C'est quoi? Wait, really? Yeah, redirect me. This post was removed. Excuse me, what? What am I supposed to... What do I tell people? Okay, close the browser. Close the browser, ignore it. Ignore it. Dave saved me again. New link. There we go. All right, nice. Okay, yeah. Awesome, thank you, Dave. Damn, Dave's on it. Dave, can you just do this Git stuff? Yeah, they're so good. They're so good. Anyway, yes, there we go. Right. Any questions or anything like that anyone would like? I'll just show you that alias again. So, in fact, do you know what? Alias grep log. Pretty sure I've got a bunch of them. Yeah, these ones here are all different ways of looking at the Git log. So, hyphen graph gives the little lines on the side. Hyphen one line restricts the actual log output, each to have its own one line. Hyphen all does all of the branches across your machine, because by default Git log just does the current branch history you're on. Decorate, tags, no walk. There's some more. Where have they gone? Oh, they're up here. Yeah, see these? Oh, these are absolutely nuts. Where's it end? Here, these Git logs, you can add, this one in particular, you can add custom formatting to your Git log. So you can say, what's GL2 look like? Let me show you GL2. You can make it look like this, which is like having different parts of the commit all printing out, the commit message, the graph, all that stuff. Let me just give you that, because I think that's cool.
So can you dump the useful ones in Slack, maybe?
On it. Where's it? Here? There. Yankety yank. Don't come back. In the events again, yeah?
Yeah, or anywhere. Yeah, events work.
There it is. That's the beast one. That's the beast mode one. That actually I don't even use anymore. it's too much. Right, yeah, that's it. Thank you for the session, everybody. Does anybody have any questions? Thanks for your patience. I hope it was all right.
Only some Vim questions, but I'll let other people pester you about Git first.